What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wild Rift University. I'm Thing1, and today I got a really cool video for you guys. So I've had a lot of people kind of talk to me and ask me about making videos about when to push and when not to push, okay? And this game's going to be a really great example of that because, honestly, in this game, as you can kind of see, we have a Samara ADC, a Nautilus jungle, and then, well, that basically says enough as it is. So we kind of got trolled this game. Basically, our mid laner basically said, I'm going mid, suck it up. And nobody played ADC. I mean, I play ADC, but like I didn't realize it was happening because I was one of the earlier picks. And then it was kind of too late from there. So nobody else knew how to play ADC. But the reason why I wanted to show this game and some of the things that we're going to go over in this game is when to team fight and when to split push. Because in this particular game, the way that we fall behind and kind of just the way our team comp is, we're not really able to beat them in team fights. And you kind of think that we would be able to, but we just kind of fall behind and we're not able to win team fights. But however, we're actually able to win the game. And I'm going to kind of break down, and this video will be a little bit different than a lot of the other videos that we've done because I'm going to jump around from champion to champion. This isn't going to really be a video about me, but it's going to be a video about like how our team understood when to play and how to play. And in this game, my team was actually pretty tilted. Everyone was pretty tilted at the mid. In general, they're like, GG, game over, FF at Dragon, and everything. I'm not even gonna lie, there's times that I got tilted as well. But for the most part, I was really the positive factor on our team, trying to keep everybody motivated because our team kind of wanted to quit pretty early. So my thought process basically this game was like, okay, so how can we win this game is kind of how I went into it. And I knew the only way we really had a chance of winning this game probably was getting my bot lane fed. And I just really wasn't, I knew it was going to be difficult because they had a lot of safety with the Yuumi and the Triss can jump out as well. And I knew we kind of had to win early. But we really don't win this game early. So it makes it even more difficult because I know I say sometimes people are saying like, well, how do you win a game when you have early game champions versus a team of late game champions? And the way that you win the game is actually by out positioning, out baiting, out maneuvering your enemy team, and then just basically rotations. Okay, rotations is really how you do it. Decision making, and this game's going to really show you how decision making wins a game because you'll kind of see as this game goes forth, we can't beat them. Like they're just absolutely dominating us. But it's our better decision making, our better map movements, our better understanding of what's about to happen on the map that correlates it. And like I always tell you guys, these are the types of things that make you better at the game, okay? And I apologize that the thing, if any of you know how to get that thing to stop popping up, I unsubscribe to people every day and it never stops showing me when they get online. It is the most annoying thing. So if you know how to do it, please, I beg you, in the comments, tell me how to get it off. And don't say you just have to unsubscribe because it doesn't work. I unsubscribe all the time and it constantly pops up. Just like, see, it's probably going to pop up over and over again. So one thing that you kind of have to realize, like I said, in games like this, you have to wait for mistakes, okay? And I think one of the biggest things a lot of players aren't willing to do is wait for mistakes. They want to make plays. But what you'll realize, like the higher elo you get and the better you get this game, the more people are willing to do more and more to win the game because they just want to win. It's all they care about. And that's why it's so important to be in the right mental state and be in the right intensity mindset when you go into the game. Because if you're not in that right mindset, you're going to make bad decisions. So here, speaking of like bad decisions, so I ended up going Yomi's here. And honestly, this is not what I wanted to do. The only reason I went Yomi's is because on my first back, I bought the, I think the machete or whatever it's called. And from there, I actually wanted to switch to I wanted to switch to Black Cleaver, but I knew I didn't build into it, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to suck it up because I already know this game I'm gonna have to be a tank. So my mindset's already set on that. And here, so my team realizes like, okay, Kane's top, so we're gonna rush the dragon right away. This is our first smart macro play, okay? A lot of times what you'll see is players, they see somebody go one way and they all immediately go the other way. This is our first smart macro play. We are focusing on the objective that we can easily get rather than fighting for a 50-50 objective. Now, what does kind of suck is because their jungler went there, our Wukong didn't have to come bot, and because he came bot, it gave basically a free top tower. But what I do in order to counter that is I know I can't get top, there's nothing I can do, so I'm just going to try and take some of his jungle instead. This is doing other things. And so as you can also see right here, our Akali was actually pushing the mid lane while I was doing the jungle, okay? So that was great. And then while that happened, the Wukong rotated back to top to cover the top. Unfortunately, like I said, he shouldn't have calmed down right away, but he rotated in order to clean up the Rift Herald. He should have, as soon as he saw that the jungler and the top lane were at the Rift, he should have backed right away because it would have given us the numbers and everything. Here, I basically do something super stupid. This is just, I only died 3 times this game, but this one was just my dumbest death out of all of them. Just absolutely stupid by me. I was so focused on like trying to clear the wave that I just give away a free kill. And so here what you see right now, as they have these 3 top bot lane, my jungler, instead of pushing to, he's forcing another lane, okay? So he's realizing, hey, there's nothing that I can really do here, so I'm going to force this other lane. Well, our team, what we're doing now, as you can see, is we're coming down here to try and defend this tower, so that way they don't get first tower. Now, the other thing that kind of happened here that messed up, as far as like understanding the right micro and macro movements, as you see our Seraphine, how she came bot lane, what she should have done is actually rotated mid. And in the chat, I even chatted to her. I told her to go to the mid, and she didn't listen. So we gave up a free tower. And if she just would have went mid, what would have happened is the Wukong up here would have actually gotten the first tower. So this was probably we had 2 big macro movement mistakes already. One was our Wukong, like I said, not backing to go back to the top lane when he saw that the jungler and the top laner were at the Rift. And then our next one was just the Seraphine not rotating to the mid. Now, right here, as you can kind of see, the game, they're kind of getting far ahead of us. They're not really that far ahead of us, but like, we're not really winning fights. And they just had about 3 people mid. And what is our Seraphine doing? Our Seraphine was mid. She realized she couldn't really impact the fight, so she's pushing lane. I see that that's going down, so I go down there to try and help defend her. Can't get there in time anymore. So I know there isn't really too much impact that I can have. So because the Akali's already pushing down bot, I'm basically say, okay, Akali's already pushing bot. I'm going to clear my red, and then I'll assist wherever I feel like is needed. And so I see them going into fight, so I'm like, okay, if they're going to go in and fight, then I'll try and start something. Now, I want to kind of like pause real fast right here and like look at the map set, okay? So we have a couple things going on. We have, as you can see, 5 of them bot lane right now. Our Seraphine just spawned. We kind of took a bad fight here. We shouldn't have engaged kind of like we did. Now, there's 2 things that can happen. The Wukong, what he should be doing is he should continue to push this top tower, and the Seraphine should push towards us to try and save. She can also kind of clear the mid wave a little bit, but pushing towards us, it kind of all depends on how the fight looks. So now that we kind of look safe with decent health, she could technically just try and ping us off and not fight. But as you see, what is the Wukong doing? The Wukong is pushing the top versus rotating back or backing. A lot of times what you'll see is players, when they see a big fight happen like that, they will back or they'll start to walk towards the base and everything versus going in. And here, what I'm basically trying to do now is, since I saw the Wukong top, I was just basically trying to focus on stopping backs. And then also, because I knew the Rift Herald was coming up, I purposely went there to try and slow down his back so that way we could have a more even back in between. So now the Rift Herald's coming up. Our Seraphine is pushing out the bot lane, getting us lane priority. And our Wukong is pushing the mid and continuing to put priority there. Because like I said, they're just blowing us up in team fights because they're so strong. But we're constantly giving them decisions to make. The Seraphine just took the bot tower. And now I'm sitting here. This is kind of a risky play, but I'm taking I steal the Rift Herald. And then like while that's happening, my mid lane and everything, they probably realistically they should have been with me. Or they should have been pushing the mid tower, but it's okay. So now that kind of puts us in a little bit of a more difficult situation. What we really need to be doing now, and what our team is basically telling everybody, is just stall, which this is the biggest mistake that a lot of people do. So often, I'm going to just open up the map here for a second so we can see everything. So often what happens when we get into this situation, as you can see on the map, their team's here, your jungler's dead. The team that has the guy down immediately just tries to fight to get a kill. Because even though like they have one down too, we're down the jungler, so they technically have the advantage because they have the smite. But so often what happens is people just won't be patient and won't try and stall out. But what my team is actually texting each other right now is, hey, stall. So they're looking more so to poke rather than to actually fight. Now, I want to show you something again right here. What a lot of times what you want to do in this situation when you're having this stall out is you need to take priority to make the team want to leave you. And so what do I mean by that? So like right here, while this whole fight was like just dancing in between here, what could have happened is the Wukong could have quickly thinned out this wave up here. And while thinning out this wave up here, what it would have done is it would have given priority to attack this tower. So now the team has to look at it like, okay, do we want to give this mid tower? And what they'll probably do is they'd send one of their players to go clear the waves so they don't lose their mid tower, because mid tower is the most important tower. It opens up everything. When you have the mid tower opened up, you can basically get in all of this easily. But without it opened up, it makes it way more difficult to get in. But my team does a really good job, as you can see, of stalling the fight. We're not trying to fight. We're just poking, keeping them back, and everything. Now when I get close, now the team goes all in. But otherwise, they wait and they're patient at first before we go all in. And then what you'll also kind of see, like right here, is they actually turn the fight on us. And they kind of win it again. But watch how my team reacts to this. So they, once again, continue to focus on the stall. And the Akali comes in here and just makes a solid play. It's basically a 3v1 because the Nautilus was basically dead. And the Akali makes a huge play, comes up and gets some kills, which stalls them again in order to allow us to stall the dragon fight, so it gives us more time. And I also love here how she goes for the back. So often players, like, they just don't back in time. Like, you need to get like your backs in, so that way you can have like your power spikes ready, especially when the other team gets ahead. Here I ignore my terrible S1, but I really love how we dance around this this dragon right now, because so often so many players throw these types of fights. But our team is doing really well at bringing distractions. And so, like, the other thing that I don't know if you notice that's happening right now, well, all this is going on. They're so focused on trying to get this dragon. Our top lane has been slow pushing this whole time. And now we're basically taking a tower. And so we're about to put them in a decision like, okay, now do we give up tower or do we try and contest this dragon? We're giving them more and more decisions constantly of like, what do I do? What do I do? We're trying to spread out the map. And now look, 2 of them are top. Okay? And here basically I was kind of like, okay, I could join them, but it's like I'm not going to. Then we just get the kill on 2 of them. So now I know like, okay, we just got the kill on 2 of them. That gives us dragon for free. And all that was able to happen because we were able to stall so long and we had a slow push set up from the top. We were able to get this dragon. Now their jungler isn't here. My team is able to push lanes. So look what we're doing. We don't need everybody here. So what happens? The Akali and the Seraphine are pushing mid, getting priority, and the Wukong is pushing top, getting priority. Okay? Like, this is how you like rotate around the map. And then what I do to try and give the Wukong more time to push is I drop the Rift mid. Not the best like Rift drop, but honestly I was kind of running out of time. So that's basically why I did it. But like as you see, we're constantly making pressure around the map in different sides, okay? And then like right here I see the Wukong getting pushed and I messed this up as well. So here, the whole reason I kicked her is because I thought she, of course, probably already used her ult. Because I was like, oh, why wouldn't she just ult him right away? And it turns out she didn't ult right away. So that's why I kicked. Which ended up not saving his life at all. But as you can kind of see right here, like, they're still beating us pretty hard. But while all this fighting's going on and everything, the Akali's pushing the bot lane. So we're all fighting. The Akali wasn't really in a position where she could impact the team fight. So what you always have to ask yourself is, if I go there, will I change the event? Okay? The Akali wasn't really in a place where she could technically change the event by showing up. So her time is better utilized by pushing a different objective. And so now their whole team is focusing this way. So what is our team doing? If you're looking at the map, we're pushing out the other lanes now. I'm immediately pushing top. They just sent like 3 people bot lane to try and kill this Akali. And now our team is going in other lanes and pushing. I'm pushing here and everything. And then my other team is trying to push mid, but they kind of engage on us. And like I said, the Yumi's really just what's making this game so difficult for us. She's super strong. And here, once again, like I said, I wasn't really in a place or a position where I could impact the map, so I decided to keep pushing. After I realized, okay, I can't keep pushing because I start backing, and I probably should have backed a little bit sooner, but I thought my team could hold off. But I want you to watch how I approach this. So a lot of people, they approach this situation wrong, okay? And I'm going to explain. This is what most people do when they approach this situation. So they have a Canyon Minion Wave, and it's a 3v1. Typically what most people do is they jump in right away and just cast all their abilities to try and create as much damage as possible. But you have to ask yourself in this situation, what is going to stop them from engaging on me, okay? So what their thought process is right now is the way that I get this tower is I need to dive him. However, if I dive him, he can kick me away. So I can't dive him unless he kicks me away. But as soon as he kicks me away, there's no way he can get away from me. So they want me to kick, and I'm not going to kick, and I'm just going to make them attack me under tower and take damage. And then once the tower does too much damage to them, or they're getting too close to damaging me, I'll kick them away so that way they can't finish me off. Okay? That's basically like what my thought process. And like I said, most of the time what players will do is they'll just go in and immediately just blow their abilities. Here I was trying to see like if they were doing it, so I was kind of scared when I jumped in. Otherwise I probably could have stole that as well. And so what I'm telling my team right now, basically, and it's also super annoying, guys, because like I've actually been screen recording all my games so you can actually see the chats and everything and what I'm saying in the games and actually see the hand movements. Of course, this game I didn't do it, and of all the games I have saved right now, this was the one that I kind of liked the most because it shows a concept that a lot of people don't understand. They don't understand when to team fight, when to split push, and everything. Because like I said, this game, we can't beat them in our 5v5. We're not strong enough right now. They're too far ahead, and they're blowing us up with the Yuumi, with the Vex, and everything, and then the AoE damage from the Trist. So it's kind of like screwing us really hard. So I wanted to kind of show you so look what happened. So the Akali pushed out the bot lane. Unfortunately, our Seraphine got caught. So as soon as the Seraphine gets caught, it changes what's going on. The Akali realized, like, okay, I got the lane pushed pretty far. I can't actually keep pushing because I also don't know where the team is, because this is the information that we have on the map. So she decides to start backing, as you can see. And then our Wukong is still split pushing. And then now me and the Nautilus are trying to defend their push. We know they have 3 here. The Akali knows that we now need help because it's basically a 5v2. So she backs up to help us. We don't want to fight here. What we want to do is just stall. Now, I love what's happening right here. Okay? So if you just would have saw a second ago, the Wukong was backing, and he kind of backed. He showed that he was kind of like backing in vision and then backs out of vision as well. And then once we re-engage on them, he stops backing, okay? And he starts to push again, okay? And like our team, we know what to do right here. Like we understand that like we're not trying to fight, we're just trying to stall to give the Wukong time to push. And that's literally what our mindset is as a team. Like we're just stalling. Right there, so the mistake, I was trying to get her to auto attack me and not her, and then I ended up being in the range of her ult, which killed her, which was my fault. So I basically killed my teammate. So here right now I said, I'm trying to stop backs so that way they can't back because the Wukong is trying to keep pushing. And so like I said, this is our plan the whole time. Stall them, keep them trapped so that way they can't back, don't let them back. And because they're overstaying, because they want to kill us so bad because we're like so close to being dead, but we're making them fight us under tower. The Wukong, as you see, was basically able to push that top tower, get that. I can't remember if he lives or dies here. But the other thing that happened, which I don't think you realize, is, like I said, they're stronger than us, but like look how we're coming. I think we were down like 5 or 8k gold. If you look at it now, we're only down about 3.2k gold. The other thing that they kind of didn't realize is they spent so much time trying to fight us here that they weren't paying attention to dragon spawn time. And now look, the dragon's about to spawn. And now this is going to be our 3rd dragon. And so now my team is like super confident. Like even almost up till this point, my team was still kind of like, oh, we can't win. We're not going to be able to win this game. But once we get to about this point in the game, and like it looks like we're about to get the 3rd dragon, my team gets super confident. And it's like, okay, I think we can win this game. Because our damage just becomes so intense afterwards, there's nothing they can do. They blow me up, but can't really do anything because the Akali's still there. I have GA. We just get the next dragon as well. And then let me show you items and everything real quick, guys, because I realize I kind of haven't shown items. So what immediately happens as soon as we get that done? As soon as we get the dragon, the Akali goes to split pushing the bot lane right now. She's getting bot lane priority in the game. And then what is happening mid? The Naut is pushing the mid. You kind of saw he was like first looking for a second. He kind of hesitated to the bot. He realized he couldn't do anything. So he didn't rotate. But what you see so often is players will just immediately rotate as soon as they see their teammate getting damaged. But what he did, he pushed out a tower. We have another tower. Now we're only down 2k gold. I said we're constantly putting pressure on the map where it needs to be. You see us team fight. Like when we team fight, we're team fighting in order to stall for other things to happen to gain priority in the game. What you have to realize is like you have to be willing to wait for the enemy team's mistakes, okay? This is how you come back when you're behind. If you're not willing to wait for the enemy team's mistakes, you're gonna lose. But the truth of the matter is like if you keep waiting, they will eventually become so impatient they will make a mistake. Like here, this is about to be another great example. Like you're about to see it again right here, okay? Our team's being super patient and we're gonna wait until they make a mistake. We're gonna slowly poke, we're gonna chip, we're gonna go in, we're gonna go out. We're gonna wait for them to mess up on a play. And then when they mess up on a play, we're gonna go in. But till then, we're basically just gonna tease a fight. And we're not going to just fight just to fight because we know they're still stronger than us, and we're not really just going to win until they make a mistake. Here they make a mistake. And right there, I don't know if you guys saw that. I literally kicked. Dude, I'm not even joking. I literally kicked the scissor leg girl. Why am I brain farting on her name right now. I kicked her and she didn't even move. So I'm not sure how that happened. But somehow it did. And like we get them on a bad engage. We the Nautilus ults their carry, and we're basically able to just ace their whole team right here. And a lot of that's also just because, like I said, we have the triple dragons, but we engage on them slowly over and over again, waiting for them to make a mistake. And then once they make a mistake, then we go in. Now we actually, for the very first time, have a lead. 72k gold 3 versus 70k gold, and we win the game and they surrender as well. So guys, I hope this was helpful to you, kind of gave you a basic understanding. I know this video is a little bit different than some of my other videos and how I break things down. I wasn't really focusing on one person because I honestly felt like in this game we really won because of positioning and the way that we pushed the map. Obviously our Akali made some amazing plays to keep us into this game. But like as a whole team, we made great plays. Like the Wukong did excellent split pushing that game. Excellent split pushing. I had great objective securing that game as well. And I even had a little bit of split pushing myself. The Seraphine was able to hit a couple very key ults that allowed us to win team fights as well. And then the Akali basically did what she needed to do. She was an assassin and killed people, and she got some great split pushing in. And the Nautilus obviously was just our tank, our front line, and he even got some split pushing and got a tower in for us. But like I said, it may be a game where you have to go back and watch it more than once to actually fully understand, because unless I really slowed the game down, I wouldn't be able to actually show you all the intricacies of how we split push properly and how we chose when to engage as a team and when to disengage as a team. You'd have to basically, like I said, go through, pause the game as you see fights happening, see like, okay, what is that player doing? What is this player doing? And seeing where they're at on the map and why they kept choosing to push. Because honestly, like this was just these are the types of games I love. Games that are won by decision making, map positioning. I don't like games that are won because you just blow the other team up with kills, because it's not really skill. Usually what that is just like, oh, you got a couple lucky early kills by maybe a small micro decision by the other player, which got you fed and then we won. This game, they had players who got fed and were super strong early, and they have great late game, but our decision making is what won the game. And we had to play super boring, super passive, wait for mistakes, and just play like really annoying. Because if you annoy the living daylights out of the other enemy team, eventually they'll make a mistake because they feel like they have to make a play in order to win the game. And that's just not true. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. Like I said, I know it's a little bit different than typically how my videos are, but I wanted to show you guys something different, and I felt like this was a great video. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.